Mindset is a lens that an entrepreneur or a leader sees his world through, whether those are challenges or opportunities, and how does he make it relevant to his experience for his organization is what that mindset is all about. So leader's mindset, the entrepreneur's mindset is the core purpose, reason of his growth. And I'm going to talk about the 12 major elements with examples and relevance to help you understand what is this mindset. How does it make a difference in your day-to-day life? Point number one is having a vision in place. A vision, a picture that you're able to visualize of what's going to happen or where you're going to be in the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or maybe even 20 years. There are leaders in the country who have envisioned this country to become the way it should be in next 20 years, in next 30 years, and they are consistently working towards it. Without a vision, you are just a human being who's living life on day-to-day basis. If you do not have a vision larger than you, you will not excite yourself and people around you. Your social network, your official network, your friendly network, or even your family. Nobody gets excited, and they're all living day-to-day life. And you will see that over a period of time, you stop having fun in life, enjoying your life. Your vision is the element, is the mental picture, which is a dynamic destination. And you consistently need to create your vision as you keep reaching one of them. So make sure that you always have a vision. And this is a very important element of a mindset for a growth-oriented leader. So make sure that you have your vision in place of what you're going to do in the next 5 years, 10 years of your life. Point number two is risk-taking. Do you have the ability to take risk? Now people say, why do I need to take risk? And entrepreneurship is a risky journey, and hence a lot of people fail. But there's a difference between people who fail and stand up again. Risk takers are people who have their mental ability to take risk very strong. Risk first happens in your mind and then on papers. So you're going to take risk inside, for which you need two things. You need immense faith on your vision, and you need to be completely skilled, competent to achieve it. And if you're not competent, you should get the resources along with you to make things happen. Risk takers and risk taking is second important point for you to become a wonderful entrepreneur. Do not stop taking risk. I always keep saying that either you avoid risk, or you mitigate risk, or you own the risk and accept the risk. But without risk, you are not going to grow. Point number three happens to be passion. And this is such a Rogered word. You have to be passionate, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be excited. But what do we actually mean by passion? This is a combination of two basic emotions, love and anger. And I'll give you an example on this. Gandhi was passionate. Hitler was passionate. Both were extremely passionate about their country. Extremely in love with their country, and extreme anger of things that have not happened right to them according to their perspectives. But the direction of their anger led them to become who they are today. So love and anger, which means you have to have immense love for something, and you have to have anger which does not allow you to sit quiet till it happens right. Now what your job is to direct that into an energy and put it across into your vision. And the moment you put that into your vision, you start taking risk, and people perceive you to be a passionate human being. Now that's how the magic of passion works. I hope this third point you will keep in mind. It's love and anger. Do you get angry when things don't happen right and you divert your energy into making things happen? Second, do you love what you're doing? Because only then you're going to be working relentlessly to achieve your vision. Point number four is confidence. A man who's confident has a unique ability. His ability to speak with himself. If he is not confidently speaking inside, he will never be able to show confidence outside. So make sure that you are speaking to yourself absolutely optimistic. When do you get that confidence? When do you start speaking to yourself with extreme confidence? You start doing that when you upgrade yourself with knowledge, skills, consistent learning. Once that starts churning inside you, that's when you say, whenever you speak, it will reflect as a sheer confidence in you. And let me tell you, as an entrepreneur, you got to sell to everybody. You got to sell to employees, sell your stakeholders, sell your bankers, sell your investors, sell your customers. You got to sell every day to everybody. And trust you me, if you're not confident, you'll never be able to sell. Because a confident seller, once starts selling, wins the battle halfway, even before closing the deal. They may not close or be with you for a long period of time, or even that time, but they will sure shot like you and want to work with you in the due course of time. So make sure, as an entrepreneur, you are extremely confident of what you're doing. I oftenly say, point number 5 is a dictionary in itself. By the time people actually become disciplined, they have almost achieved everything. So discipline is not a destiny, it's a progression. You have to consistently work on yourself to be disciplined. And there is a simple definition of discipline. It says that you do what you're supposed to do, whether you like it or you don't. I repeat, you do what you're supposed to do, whether you like it or you don't. That's exactly what discipline is, because everything in business is not something that you like. You might not like accounting, you might not like marketing, you might not like creating these videos, you might just not like talking to people, you might just not like getting people together and wanting them to work in a direction, you might not like the pace that people are working with, you might not like a lot of things. But if you don't do what you're supposed to do, whether you like it or not, on the time it is supposed to be done, you will not grow. So period, make sure that you're disciplined with yourself first, rather than getting anybody else disciplined in the way. One of the key ingredients of the mindset of entrepreneurs. I have gone through, met through, learned, consulted over 15,000 entrepreneurs in the country, of which few people are over 500 crores today. One key common parameter all of them have is they are extremely disciplined. Point number 6 is patience. A virtue in its own sense. We have so many examples, but the recent one that comes to my mind is J.K. Rowling. The famous Harry Potter was rejected 12 times in a row, and no publisher was ready to publish it. The 13th publisher said yes to it. I'll give you a story about this. Once I asked my grandfather of why don't we get what we want, because I was crying for a bicycle, and my parents were not allowing me, they're not getting that to me. Now what happened, I'll tell you. I went to my grandfather, I was crying, and I told him that why don't people give that? So he told me a story, and I'm going to tell the same story to you today. He said that Almighty has already decided what to give you. He's just wanting to know whether you are genuinely wanting it. Now, unless you do not show consistency, unless you do not show persistency, which is also the point number 7, by the way, unless you do not have that vision, you will not be patient in achieving it. The day you get impatient, you start making wrong decisions. And the moment you start making wrong decisions, you start getting into a trap of bad risk. The moment you start getting into a bad risk, you start seeing that your business is going down. So make sure that you're extremely patient as you move on to the entrepreneurial journey. Nothing is in rush. Make sure that you are absolutely mindful of every decision that you take. Now, like my grandfather gave me a story and that made me more patient for everything that I wanted, I got all of those, by the way. But the fact still remains is, unless and until I am extremely patient about achieving my dreams, achieving my vision, I will not get there. Make sure you are extremely patient as you move on that journey. One of the finest strategies, I was at Ladakh and asking the Commander-in-Chief at the SIL border, what's the finest strategy to actually win anything in these peak extreme situations? And he said, one step at a time. Focused one step at a time. Do not be impatient to complete the journey. Be on a journey to complete it right. Be patient. Point number 7 is about resilience, is about dedication, is about persistence. Now, when we say resilience, when we say persistency, when we say dedication, it denotes one word: your ability to get back. And if you have the ability to get back after your failures, that's how your entrepreneurial journey will be created into a story. And all the entrepreneurs, every businessman, every entrepreneur wants a good story to be written down. Now, how would you ever create a story without a failure? Would there be one story? Have you ever seen a movie where there's no villain? There will always be one. So accept that there will be failures. Your ability to get back will make you more resilient, more dedicated, and more consistent. And as I said, discipline, patience, ensuring that you have a vision, ensuring that you're taking risk on regular intervals is going to make you a better entrepreneur. But without having that attitude towards risk, without having an attitude that you will not get up, you will never be able to fail. I heard somebody saying, and that's Grant Cardone, I really follow the individual awesomely well. He said, I can never fail if I don't quit. And that's something that I keep writing on here, making sure that I read it when it gets tough for me. I will never fail if I don't quit. So don't quit. Keep moving. Keep doing what you're supposed to do, whether you like it or not. I'm talking about point number 8 now, and I'm going to talk about two set of entrepreneurs, two classes of entrepreneurs. Over a period of so many years, I have found out two kind of entrepreneurs. One who are on the problem side, and other who are on the solution side. There are always two parties. There are always two situations. There are always two sides of a coin. And entrepreneurs who are solution-oriented are entrepreneurs who move forward consistently. They may not take leaps, but they keep moving forward. And leap is seen over a period of time. Be on the solution side. Be on the solution side of how you can solve somebody's problem. Now, when we say somebody's problem, we constantly keep thinking about our customers. But that's not the only problem that you have to solve. You can solve the process problems. You can solve your employees' problems. You can solve the problems of your partners. You can solve the problems of the bankers. You can solve the problems of your customers. All of these coming together will help you to solve problems for your customers. So rather than trying to solve problems for your customers, why don't you try solving problems of your employees, of the processes that they have, or the systems that you're trying to create? The more you work on them, they will get together and ensure that your customer problems are getting solved. Isn't that the better approach? Now, problem orientation, or problem solution orientation is something that you have to drive as a culture in the organization. If you don't drive that as a culture in the organization, you will see only you solving the problems and nobody else interested into it. Because for them, it is your problem, it is not their problem. So make sure that your organization has a culture of problem solving. It begins with you, but it should not stop at you. It should be culture of the organization that allows the problems to be solved and customer to benefit. So we're talking about point number 9 now. And point number 9 is something that will create a character out of your personality. And I always keep saying this, that there is a difference between character and personality. Personality is what you see right now in front of the camera, in front of your videos. This is my personality. But character is how I respond to certain situations when it gets tough. Great entrepreneurs, great role models, and even people who become millionaires and billionaires are people who've taken actions of the responsibilities that have happened, typically the failures. They've come out and accepted the failures. Because unless and until you do not accept your failure, you do not create a ground to create a new success. You've got to accept. That becomes the baseline of you moving forward. Now let me tell you, every failure will rise you. I repeat, every failure will rise you up to a different level. Only if you take the responsibility. So go ahead, take the responsibilities of your mistakes. Absolutely do not worry about it. Why? Because people do make mistakes and everybody makes a mistake. Just because of the social aspect of it, just because of the family aspect of it, just because of the employee aspects of it, we tend to shy away from taking certain responsibilities that we are supposed to. Make sure that you take responsibilities of every action and typically every failure. It's immaterial whether you do it or your team does it. If it fails, it is your final accountability. It's final responsibility that lies on your shoulders as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, because you are the one who's driving the business. Point number 10 is the learning mindset. A mindset that you are absolutely open to learn from anybody who comes across. It is immaterial whether the person has the experiences or person is capable, he's young, he's old, he's of old school, he's of new school, it doesn't matter. Do you periodically learn? Now, one of the elements that I constantly keep seeing as a pattern of entrepreneurs who've been able to make great success, they spend 7 hours bare minimum, hour a day, bare minimum in learning. Well, this is not me, by the way. There is this wonderful book that I would definitely want to tell you. It's called Fifth Discipline. Peter Sinch talks about the fifth discipline as the learning discipline. What are the 4 disciplines? First, it's strategy, cash, execution, and people. So the 5th one is learning. I definitely recommend you to have a look at this book as well. The 5th discipline, which helps you to understand how you can solve symptomatic problems in the organization and how you can solve problems with the root cause analysis. Because in both the cases, if you have a headache, you might take a crocin or a paracetamol, or you may want to change your lifestyle by drinking a lot of water. What problem you want to solve? Unless and until you do not have a learning mindset, you will not get deep into what problems are, and you will keep yourself on a surface that doesn't allow you to move forward. And then entrepreneurs get into a trap where I'm doing everything, I'm working doubly hard, and I'm still not moving forward. Why is that? That's because maybe you're looking at problems at the shallow levels. The only way to understand those problems at depth is to have a learning mindset. So allow yourself being a true learner who's ready to learn from everybody. Point number 11 is, am I adaptive to change? Am I an adaptable human being? Now, what do you mean by adaptation, by the way? Anything new that comes to you which is perceived as a threat, your normal human response is no. Okay? So if I ask you to jump up from the 5th floor, you're going to say no. But if I say, you know what, there's an ample amount of cushion, you've been put in harnesses, and you're going to get $1 million, you're going to take a risk on that. So the moment I say jump from the 5th floor, a perceived threat comes up, and the response, a normal human response, is no. From no, a human being moves to a stage which is called as confusion. He's asking questions, he's wanting to learn more, he's inquisitive about the issue or situation. From confusion, he moves on to acceptance, and that acceptance is acceptance of the situation. And from situation of acceptance, he moves to contentment, which means I have done it, I have now know it, I'm okay with it. Now these are the 4 stages that the change is moving. Now when I say adaptation, it means your time that you take to move into the circle. Okay? From a no to a confusion to an acceptance to a contentment is the stages that you're going through, and the speed that you adopt is adaptation. And the fast moving VUCA world, I'm 100% sure the no has to be fast, the confusion has to be fast, the acceptance has to be fast, and the contentment has to be fast. Because it's a circular motion. Moment you get contented, something new will come up, you will again say no. So reduce your time, and learning mindset allows you to reduce your time for change. So make sure you are adaptable. With all these 4 pointers, there will be a no with a new situation, there will be a confusion with a new situation. Once you learn how to do it, why to do it, when to do it, where to do it, with who to do it, you will be adaptable to it, which means you'll accept it. And once you do it, you will get into a contentment zone where you know you've done it all. That's how it works. So make sure that you are adaptable to change. Do share it with everybody. It doesn't matter because change is everywhere. You can share this with your families, you can share this with your business people, you can share it with your employees, anybody of it, because all are resistible to change. But we all know change is the only constant thing around us. So make sure you are proactive for it. Point number 12, which is growth orientation. Growth is a summation of all of this. When you do the 11 things, the output is growth. Okay? So when you say I'm growth-oriented human being, I am growth-oriented a leader, I'm a growth-oriented entrepreneur, what do you mean by that? It means you are adaptable to change, you have a vision in place, you're ready to take a risk, you have a learning mindset, you are resilient, you are competent, you're working with people, and you're making things happen. Now, most of us, or rather, I've seen rather 9% of entrepreneurs, they want big leaps every time. But you know what? I don't know how many of you watch cricket and how many you watch the 5 days test match. Sometimes it is just good to be on the pitch. You don't need to hit, you just need to be there. And if you be there, the ball changes, the pitch changes, and you start hitting the shots again. But that's a mindset, my dear friends. If you lose that patience, which we were speaking in point number 6 or 5, I don't remember now, but if you do not have that, you will see your growth orientation is not there. So all the 11 points that I've shared with you, keep that in mind and ensure that the output is growth. The input is all these 11 points. Make sure you are implementing all of this for yourself. Oftenly watch this, because this is not a rocket science. It remains same. Science is going to remain same. The words will keep changing. Make sure it's there with you. Whenever you feel that you're not doing certain things right, see if you can, scroll through this content and see if something is, this is where I'm losing it or this is where I'm missing it. It will definitely help. In this process, School of Inspirational Leadership will always be coming out with content that will help you to grow your business. In this context, School of Inspirational Leadership will always be coming out with good content. Content that is implementable, that can be understood easily with all the business friends and entrepreneurs in the country. More importantly, if you like it, you can share it with people. That allows us to make more content. The more you are able to share your comments, it allows us to improve what we can offer you. Also in the comment box, write down what kind of content you want to watch or listen or learn from us. And if you intend to do that, you write that down and we'll surely start creating that content which you require. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Yogesh Pawar, founder of School of Inspirational Leadership, a training and consulting company relentlessly working for growth of entrepreneurs in the country. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next series.